and to ensure that there is proper process.
Let's speak to Joanna Chiu. She's an author and journalist from the Toronto Star. She covered the speculation behind the shooting back in June. Thank you for being with us. Do you know what evidence Canada has and who it's been shared with?
Yeah, so Prime Minister Trudeau has not given more details on what intelligence Canada has, but based on our interviews with experts who have followed this case, it seems clear that Ottawa would not accuse India in such strong terms if it did not have quite strong intelligence. So usually if a state is involved in allegedly putting out a hit on someone outside its own country, it would try to cover these tracks. So evidently either India did not do a good job of covering its tracks, or there might be someone who is talking who was involved, or perhaps another country provided some intelligence. So that's also a mystery how Canada was able to get such compelling evidence. But this is a very unprecedented case. Like, we weren't able to find another case in the past where someone was killed in Canada and that was suspected to have an international ally involved, like India.
And so what has happened since that case? For the other, because it's a big Canadian Sikh community, are there other people within that community who are now under protection?
So Canada is actually home to the world's largest Sikh diaspora outside of India. Mm-hmm. So for a long time, this has been a point of tension in the Canadian-Indian relationship, where India views this entire religious group as basically a threat to its interests. So a lot of people in the community have said that they've been targets of Indian state interference for years, that visas have been denied, that basically their family members are kind of being held hostage in India in retaliation for some of their democratic activities and political advocacy for an independent state for Sikhs in India. And I've heard from others who are requesting anonymity that they have also been warned by Canadian police that there are also credible death threats against them, and they've been asked to leave their homes in BC, in Canada, on multiple occasions. So they would like to emphasize that this might not be an isolated case of one man that has been in the crosshairs, but that multiple people in Canada and also internationally might be at risk if this continues. Joanna, if there's an international response to India.
Yeah, well, Joanna, surely the Canadian Prime Minister is aware how much international interest there is in this. The Americans have called on the Indians to comply with the inquiry. The British are, of course, negotiating their own trade deal, which is near the end. There are implications to what Canada is setting out here.
Mm-hmm. So far we see some rhetoric, some words of support and condemnation from Western leaders, but not being followed through with anything concrete. And in fact, a spokesperson for the British Prime Minister has said that Britain will not stop trade talks with India, that these explosive allegations from Canada will not affect these ongoing trade talks. And it comes at a time where many countries are looking at China's rise and seeing that as a major threat, and seeing India as a counterweight to China's influence in the Asia-Pacific region. So this really throws a wrench into things, and it seems that unless the U.S. really reconfigures its national security strategy, which pretty much has India and an increasing trade and political relationship with India at its core, that other countries like Britain will not follow suit and back up Canada.
Joanna Chiu, very good to talk to you.